right, so my story begins in the spring of 2008 at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in rural eastern North Carolina. The base is home to the F-15E Strike Eagle jet aircraft, and it's where I learned to fly the F-15. My first instructional flight was with Colonel Quast, and he was the base commander and really the resident fighter pilot badass at the time. He went by the call sign Killer, and stories on how he earned that call sign are pretty legendary. His videos of his dogfighting were textbook, and he really exemplified what it meant to be a fighter pilot. So he was something that I wanted to emulate, and he was really inspirational, and made me want to be a better pilot. And he also happened to be an avid distance runner. So fast forward about a year to August of 2009, and I'm on my first deployment to Afghan Air Base in Afghanistan. And I decided it'd be a good idea to train for my first marathon at Bagram. And the running conditions there are, I'd say, less than ideal. And really the motivation for this was to train for the Boston Marathon and qualify for that. And so the hardest part about running in Afghanistan is really the culture that's around there. Really, if I were to describe it, it's the, if you were to look down at Afghanistan, at Bagram Air Base in particular, at night, and look at the lighted perimeter fence, to me it really resembles kind of an outline of what the United States looks like, just by coincidence. So my runs would begin at about where the US and Mexico border would be. And the road is unpaved, it's full of potholes, and it's really busier than Mass Ave at rush hour a lot of times. So going clockwise from there, I'd run up the California coast in my mind, but really what I'm running next to is a trash furnace, which is burning, literally burning 10,000 people's worth of garbage 24 hours a day. That's how they dispose of trash there. As I go up the Pacific Northwest and the Canadian border, I run by the prison, which the US maintains there, and they detain a lot of Al-Qaeda and other insurgent group high-value targets. And not far from there is a graveyard of armored personnel carriers that have been destroyed by improvised explosive devices. So I'm running by all this, and as I make my way down the Canadian border and in my mind about where the Great Lakes are, I'm forced to run on the side of the road where it's so dusty with red clay that every foot stomp that goes down, a plume of red smoke comes up and just coats the inside of my socks and the side of my legs. And so as I round that corner down the eastern seaboard, I peer across the perimeter fence and wonder if one of the native Afghan shepherds might one day decide to just pick me off with an AK-47 as I run by. Rounding the corner back on the home stretch where I connect with the original road where I started is about where I thought Florida would be, and it's appropriately named Disney Drive. So Disney Drive is where I would meet up with Colonel Quast once again from my initial training back at Seymour Johnson. And at this point he's a brigadier general, which is a one-star general. And he's in command of the entire air operations at Bagram. So General Quast has a challenge out to all airmen under his command at the base, and he challenges them to beat him in a 1.5 mile Air Force fitness test. And so this test takes place on Disney Drive, and it's out and back at sunrise. And up to this point, when I get there, he'd been there for several months, and no one has beat him to my knowledge. So given his legendary reputation as a fighter pilot, I had no idea where I stand against him as a runner. So on race morning, it's a race in my mind, it's really a fitness test, but I see him at the start line, and he doesn't seem to remember me from our flight about a year ago. So as we take off, I find myself at the front of the pack after about a half a mile. And at the turnaround, I look back and see him about 100 feet behind me. And so I pick up the pace a little bit, and afraid that he might have some wicked last 800-meter sprint or something like that. But he doesn't. I cross the line in front, and I expect him to come over, give me a handshake or a high five or something. And he goes straight to his government-issued Ford Explorer with a single star and the license plate on the front, and he drives off. And I'm thinking, like, no handshake, no fist bump, like no good run or good to see you again, no nothing. So basically, the moral of the story is there isn't a whole lot of runs that we go on that you get a lot of fanfare or really cheers from other people. So make those runs special when you do meet up with those other people, and